Hello and welcome back to the Buddies Much podcast. I'm Andrew and I'm here with...
I'm Sean.
And I'm Chase.
And today we are talking about the newly anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home. But before we get into it, if you guys could quickly like, comment, and subscribe, it would really help out the channel. And we want to hear from you, so leave a comment down below. What did you think of Spider-Man? But let's jump into it. Spider-Man No Way Home, it released today, and we all saw it today, correct?
Yeah. I mean, people...
Sean and Chase bright and early. You guys saw it at like 9 a.m.
That was the only time we could get it.
No, I don't blame you. It's just funny.
Theaters were filling up fast.
Also, don't ever support freaking ticket scalpers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
Heads up.
just like, screw them.
Yeah,
just,
we won't get into that too much, but yeah, don't support scalpers. But you know what? Let's just jump into the nitty-gritty of it. Let's start off with our ratings. Chase, let's start with you. What did you give Spider-Man No Way Home?
6.5.
6.5. Wow. Sean?
I also said 6.
Wow. Okay. This is very interesting. I gave it an 8.0.
8.
An
Okay.
8.0.
He liked it.
So there were a couple things that didn't give it a 9, and that really bugged me. Maybe I'm being too lenient because I just saw it. There are some gripes, but overall, there were a lot of good things I liked. But let's jump into the likes before we start ragging on it.
Let's jump into it.
All right.
I think we should have Sean start with what he likes.
Have Sean start.
Okay, sure.
All right. First off...
Oh, wait. Should we preface this with massive spoilers?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Humongous spoilers.
We need to start doing that.
We understand that this movie came out like today.
Spoilers.
So
Also, we get very excited when we talk about this, so there is no possible way we could do a spoiler-free review.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big spoilers.
Get spoiled.
Take it away, Sean.
Okay. So probably the moment in the film that was my favorite was all the three Spider-Mans, and they were like, listen, we got to work as a team, and then they all start swinging it, and I was like, ooh, that's what I came to see. Ooh, that's the Spider-Man right there. Because, like, I think each of the Spider-Mans has something that makes them a good Spider-Man.
For sure.
And I feel like it came out in every one of them, and you got to see that, and it was really, really cool. Like, I had, like, the tingles running down my back, and I was like,
Peter tingles?
That's so cool. I liked seeing all the old villains. I think, like, Doc Ock did a good job. I think
Defriend.
I think Green Goblin did a good job.
That was a big one for me.
The villains.
The casting, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think William Dafoe freaking nailed it as Green Goblin. There was one part that kind of gave me the chills, and that was when Spider-Man's fighting Green Goblin in the building. You know how they keep crashing through the floors? And there's a part where he keeps punching him, and he just keeps smiling.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That just got me.
That was cool.
But I don't know. He killed it as Green Goblin. I mean, he did last time, and he did this time. Same with Doc Ock. I think the casting for this movie was just incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge Jamie Foxx fan, but whatever. I kind of.
I mean, he did all right.
Yeah,
they fixed his costume.
Yeah, they
did.
did.
You notice that?
They did.
That, like, so original Electro had like this green suit, and he had like this kind of starfish on his face.
Yeah.
And when they did Electro and Amazing Spider-Man, he was just like a blue guy.
Yeah.
But if you watch,
for a split second, he has the thing.
He has like the mask on. It's got like the star on it. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool. They had original Sandman, which was dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, the casting, and of course Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. I'll get it. There's one or two people I didn't care for, but as far as acting went, I didn't find any cringe moments as far as the acting. Also, the fight scenes were pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Like some of those moves were brutal. Like they're like slamming each other into the ground.
Yeah.
Near the end there, you saw like Green Goblin. Was it Green Goblin or Spider-Man? I'm blanking. But one of them picked the other one up and like jumped
like
and then like
suplex?
slammed him down.
Oh, I think that was Spider-Man suplexing Green Goblin at the end, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think
That's pretty
Gabi did the same thing to him in the apartment building and like brought him down like 6 floors.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool.
Yeah. What about you, Chase? What'd you like?
I really liked, like, just like when it ended. No. I'm kidding. I really liked the ending.
Okay.
Like, Spider-Man walks in the coffee shop. MJ, like, doesn't know him.
Yeah.
That was an
It's like-
intense scene.
Thank you.
I was genuinely, good Lord, surprised by that, because I thought we were going to get some BS where it was like, no, I'll still remember you, Peter. And it's like, no. But at the end, he's like heartbroken because they do forget him, and he's just like, you know what, I need to take things slow. kind of a
well,
thing.
it's better
It's
this
for
way.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
safety, right?
Man, and I love because that's what I've been saying this entire time. Like Peter's been telling his identity to everybody, and then literally everybody knows, and I'm like, that's so dumb.
like-
but now he's to a point where like, yes, I cannot tell anyone who I am because these terrible things happen.
Well, like that, yeah, because he was like he had it all rehearsed. And he was gonna like talk to her. Then she like flipped her hair and like
He saw the
Band-Aid
Band-Aid,
and was
yeah.
just like, "Not gonna put you through that again."
Man, and
Um,
that's so good. I
yeah.
think that was great.
One thing I liked, which is half of it's a dislike,
Sure.
but I'll still put it in the likes. I like that MJ wasn't nearly as annoying.
That's one opinion. Okay.
Right?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. That's
Ned
I-
was way more annoying.
Okay, I will agree with that. I will agree with that.
Like
hands down.
because the last
That's
movie,
going to be my biggest
MJ
gripe.
was so annoying. Whatever. But anyway, but besides that, I really love seeing Andrew Garfield and Toby.
I liked Andrew. I'm not a big fan of the Andrew Garfield movies. They're okay, but he actually did a pretty good job in this movie. I like,
I liked the
all
joke.
of them were like Spider-Mans. They all had their own little quirkiness.
I
About
did
it,
like
so.
the joke about how they're like, so like, you make your own web fluid? And he's like, no, it's like, wait, like, do you like inject it into yourself? No, it just comes out.
It was kind of cool that they brought that up because
Yeah.
otherwise people would have probably ragged on
What?
that pretty hard.
one of my initial dislikes that turned into a like was like, of course, all the quippiness and all the stuff that comes with the Marvel movie. But then I was like, it's a
That's-
Spider-Man
yeah,
movie.
that's Spider-Man.
You can't be mad at that. And I was like, all right, that's pretty on point for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I can't be mad about that.
Like when Spider-Man's joking around, I kind of like give it like some slack. But when other people joke around, I'm just like, oh, hold on,
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
stop it. But
Like the villains is kidding around with each other. And
yeah, that was But the Spider-Mans, I think they had good rhythm with each other and stuff.
yeah.
Oh, the other scene that really got me is when Andrew Garfield jumps and saves MJ.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Oh, yeah.
he has this moment of realization,
He
like,
gets kinda
I did it,
teary-eyed.
like, I did it, I finally because I couldn't save Gwen, kind of a thing.
And
Yeah.
you know what I love about that?
that hit pretty hard.
And they didn't say anything either. She was just
Yeah.
like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then they moved on, and I was like, "Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that."
For sure.
Oh, man.
But
I thought the
See-
rooftop scene was kind of cool when, like, Peter's like, you don't know what I'm going through. And they're all just like, really?
we don't know what you're going through. Come on.
Like, Toby's like, I've been doing this like 20 years longer than you.
yeah,
And that's another thing I did like. They didn't expand on, like, Toby's and Andrew's futures in their universes.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they
pulled
didn't.
Him, they pulled him from a point in time that was like right as their movie ended. I assume.
But,
Like,
no,
Well, actually, no, because it would have been because Norman Osborn is still alive. So, well, yeah,
that's-
technically.
So
at the
that's
end,
that's
but
something
yeah.
that I want to get into
But,
a little bit. That like
They pulled him at different points of time, but,
But,
yeah.
like, you could definitely see that Toby has way more experience. Like,
oh yeah,
just like emotionally, just everything.
just like more
right?
emotionally mature.
And like
yeah.
in my mind, like I see him as like, yes, he's still the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but like with a family.
Yeah, because when they're doing like the science work or whatever, Andrew Garfield kind of mentions like, "Oh, I don't really have anyone that I care about. Like, that's kind of what we signed up for." And Tobey Maguire's like, "It gets better."
Yeah,
like he's
exactly.
like, just wait.
But like, I'm glad they didn't go off onto that.
Yeah.
Where maybe ruining the previous movies.
sure, yeah,
you
they
know, that
start
they were
messing.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start messing with stuff from before.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
get
I
that.
mean, technically, if they cured everyone and sent them back in time, like,
But-
doesn't
Well,
that mess with?
In timeline
It
theory,
depends on the
different.
timeline theory.
Yeah.
yeah, but like,
This is why I hate.
'Cause, like, they
multiverse
could have
stuff.
Same,
I hate
same,
talking
saved
about
someone
multiverse
else's
stuff. It's
timeline or
dumb.
something. But
because you could have potentially split the timeline. Anyway, I guess that kind of is a good segue into the dislikes, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let's start with the dislikes. Let's start with Chase. You look antsy.
He's ready. He's ready
Okay.
to. He's ready to burst over there.
I hated number one most of all, Ned doing magic.
Okay, that's my biggest
Dude.
one too.
With zero training, just
Yep.
slip a ring on and.
And it's like a Make-A-Wish ring. Oh, I wish Spider-Man was here. Oh,
Well, like the
all
way the
oh.
ring works is that you like picture where you want to go, and then you cast the spell. But he was like picturing, okay, I want to see Peter, and then just cast the spell without thinking
It's
about
just
it.
like Ray from Star Wars. It's the I'm better than Doctor Strange.
Exactly.
Well, better than Doctor Strange was at that point. Okay, I was like,
Strange
he's
was there
not
for
better
so
than Doctor
long.
Strange.
Like, took him forever to even get.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. The whole Doctor Strange movie was him doing that.
Right.
Like, it took him the whole movie of Doctor Strange to be able, like, he struggles and struggles with the ring, and he has to go to the freaking was it Mount Everest? I think it was Mount Everest.
Yeah.
And he has to, like, go.
Comertage.
Yeah, but he gets teleported to Mount Everest, and then he can finally come back with the circle ring.
Oh, okay.
And that was, like, really traumatic, and he went through all this training, and here Ned just slips on a ring. Like, oh, come on. Like, give me a break.
Well, my objection with that scene also is that he's like, okay, I need to find Peter, and then out steps Andrew Garfield. Okay, I need to find Peter, and then out steps Tobey Maguire.
And they don't do it again.
And then they don't do it again. Like, just do it one more time.
Also, the whole, like, my other biggest dislike is why cure all these guys? Why does it matter?
I'm kind of in that same boat. Anyway.
And, like, before they kill Aunt May, like, couldn't they have just pressed it? I don't know. I mean, technically wasn't there with them, but still, like.
I see what you're saying there, and I agree with you in like, just in the sense that, like, I think that they explored that timeline, like, in the comics. I mean, that Spider-Man is like, okay, I do want to try to help these guys, but it's such an insurmountable task, especially with all the other stuff coming at him. So I think that he does want to try to help, but, like, so often he just can't.
Yeah.
See, like, and I get that. I understand that he wants to help these people, but I liked at first when he was talking to Aunt May, and he's like, "Listen, this isn't my problem. Like, they're from different timelines. They made their own choices, so what they do is their own thing." And she's like, "No, you're Spider-Man. Do the right thing." And he's like, "All right, I'll try and help him." And I'm okay with maybe one or two of them getting cured, but curing all of them in that short amount of time kind of irked me.
And also from a high school, like, chemistry lab.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's his whole
He just
thing.
works with what he has.
But, like, and I understand it's a movie. You only have X amount of time, but maybe I would have liked to have seen one or maybe two people get cured, and the others they banish back to their timelines, or something. I don't know. I feel like
that some of them are beyond redemption.
Yeah, or maybe one of them actually does die.
That was actually kind of cool, though, with Toby, because he's like, oh, I've been thinking about this a long time, about how he could have cured
Green Goblin. Yeah.
Right.
So that was kind of cool, but.
Anyway, I think it was just a little too plot armory for me when it was like, and again, I love the final battle, but it's just like, cure you, you're cured. All right, let's call it a day. I'm like,
Also, Statue of Liberty with the shield is so cool.
that was pretty cool.
I thought that was really
I thought they were going to go that way with Electro. Where, because
he was beyond redemption.
Yeah, because he was
that
like,
made
oh,
sense.
I can take the power. And he, like, ripped the thing off. And I was like, okay, he's not going to be cured. He doesn't want to be cured. And then they kind of force it on him at the end. And he's like, bummer, And, like, I was like, no, dude. Like, be mad. Like, I don't know.
I do have one more dislike, but I'm going to save it in case you guys don't say it. So,
Okay.
Yeah, oh.
come back to me.
I want to touch on one that you already. I just want to elaborate on the one Chase said,
Ned.
and that was Ned and MJ.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't like how involved Ned and MJ were, and they weren't as involved as the other movies, but there was a point where, like, they're just, like, palling around, like, as Spider-Man's doing all this dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go home. Like, and the old Mary Jane in the Tobey Maguire movie was more like a damsel in distress.
Sure.
Which I think I maybe preferred. And this MJ is more sarcastic and independent, which is fine, but she doesn't really have powers or anything, so
she's
just gonna die.
She just runs headlong into danger, and
yeah. And there's a part where, like, she has to keep the box safe, and Peter Parker, something happens, I don't remember, but he walks up to her and says, "I couldn't have done this without you." And I wanted to turn to my wife and be like, "Yeah, he could have. She didn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? She just sat there." Like, I don't know. I felt in Ned with the power ring. Well, we've already talked about it, but that was just
Because I think we were talking about predictions a while ago, and I don't remember. Sean said, like, "Oh, MJ, it's just going to be a movie about MJ," And like really, there's only one thing that really bugged me about MJ.
She wasn't as involved as I thought, but
Right.
still, it was.
There's,
kinda-
like,
There was a
one thing-
lot of weird stuff. Like there's villains and stuff running around and buildings being toppled and they're like, what about our college applications? And I'm like, oh, I don't care. Like,
or
Or
like,
the I know some magic words.
that
Oh,
that
ooh.
actually was really annoying. I didn't
Yeah.
like that line at all because I don't know. Doctor Strange should have put some magic. He should have shadow realmed her instantly.
Yeah.
ooh, to the mirror realm with you.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. I want to circle back
Sure.
to a small like how Doctor Strange just schooled Spider-Man.
That was pretty cool.
That was tight.
yeah.
Where he was like, "Ha, I'm gonna get away," and he's like, no."
And then he won by the power of math.
Yeah, I mean that was a little annoying. I feel like Doctor Strange is a powerful enough character that he should be able to just be like, and no, you know, like
Yeah.
I wanted to circle around to one of my biggest dislikes, and that is the complete and utter wasted opportunity that was no Venom.
Okay, that was the one.
That was the one you were talking about.
Well, I mentioned this to Sean at the very end of the movie, and I was like, "Wow, no Venom," and he's like, "What?" Like, didn't
I
come to your mind?
completely forgotten.
Well, I mean, it was just a post credit, but yeah, like,
Dude, like they went through all the trouble of like setting it up at the end of Let There Be Carnage and show like Venom. Oh, he sees Spider-Man, and I'm thinking this whole time like we have this whole section in one of our earlier episodes about how like what's going to go on with that, and the answer is absolutely nothing. Nothing is going
it
on
was
with
just
that.
it was just more setup. I mean, we'll talk more about the post credit stuff, but it was just like they had setup and then nope, more setup. That's kind of what this was.
I didn't
Because
like that.
we see the symbiote at the end. Anyway,
But,
we'll
like,
get into that later.
He's into the universe and then leaves,
Right.
and that's it.
And shouldn't the symbiote, because it's like organic matter, go back to its timeline?
That's
See-
just comics. For
And
you,
there's
though.
another thing.
The
I-
magic is sending all foreign material back to where it came from, but it decides just for fun to leave
but
a little.
you know what? I'm fine with that. That kind of crap happens in comics all the time.
Right, but
where
like,
it's like
there's another thing I was asking Sean about. I was like, okay, so like, to me this doesn't make sense. Yeah, he erases Peter Parker from everyone's mind, but what about like the stuff that like has already been written down that's like already streaming on the news?
like on the internet.
They go back and they're like, Jonah Jameson's like, oh hey, Peter Parker, yada yada yada. I actually kind of did like how
Does-
they made Jonah Jameson kind of like a
like a crazy
Joe
person.
Rogan
yeah,
type guy.
that was actually pretty cool.
That
I
was
liked
funny.
That.
Anyway.
But
But like, is he erased from the internet too, or just people's minds?
Or like, will the sunglasses remember him? Because it looks like he just gave all that up and just left.
and,
I mean-
and he made a new costume at the end. Yeah,
I know that's like a thing. But
It's nitpicky. But
it's a little nitpicky, but like the stupid thing is that like every time you say that, the answer's going to be the same, and it's magic. So like, you know what I mean? So like, again, I wish I had like an actual answer to like defend, but I'm just like, it's I don't know what to tell you.
See,
it's
I-
just Doctor Strange magic.
I
Like,
agree that like yes, he like magic could wipe it from the internet or whatever. But like if magic is that all encompassing, why is it so not all encompassing that it can't also take the little drop of venom behind with it?
I don't know.
right?
It's
don't
man.
know.
I ain't gotta explain, man. It's
I don't
magic.
know. So another thing that I was, I guess, disappointed about. So they're capturing all of the villains, right? And this is pretty much the Sinister Six, right? We've got all got
Yeah.
all the members there.
It's the Sinister Five.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been a ton of people in and out of the Sinister Six group, but I would have liked a name drop. I thought it would have been cool.
Yeah.
Especially because Doc Ock's the leader. Doc Ock. I thought Doc Ock was awesome in this.
Oh,
he
yeah.
killed it.
Really cool.
I'm conflicted on the whole like them curing Doc Ock, but they cured him really early, so I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But like in the grand scheme of things, he is a pretty big villain, so I'm like, all right,
yeah.
you kind of played your hand there early, but a different timeline. I don't know. But no, I thought the villains were really cool. The whole curing of the villains was a little quick for me, but I don't know. It was cool. Any other dislikes we need to get into? And then we can go to the post credits.
It's maybe not a total dislike, but the whole like Peter Parker's suit takes over.
Oh, the nanotech?
The
takes over.
nanotech
that
takes
Doc Ock steals
over
the
Doc's
nanotech.
Well, no, it's not that it steals it. Yeah, he takes it, but then the nanotech takes
He
over
just
his
like
arms.
he like Bluetooth pairs too.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Bluetooth
what
arms.
happens.
I don't know. That was just interesting.
Well, I mean, Stark Tech is just kind of the
End all be all.
yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah. So
What do you guys think about probably the biggest turning point in this movie of Aunt May?
okay. I want to.
Her dying?
Yeah.
I want to go on record as saying I super called that. And Chase, back me up here.
Sean said happy
I said happy or
or Aunt May.
Aunt May would die. That's what I said.
I didn't believe him, but
I thought it was a good move killing off Aunt May.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have an Uncle Ben, so they had to kill somebody.
Poor Uncle Ben.
It was both of the old
And
Spider-Man.
then after killing off Aunt May, that's when they realized that new saying, like, with great disappointment comes great, like, unexpectations or something like that.
Oh, one other thing I thought of. This wasn't like a dislike. It's just something I would have liked to have seen just for a split second. They reference it, but I would have liked more. And that's Miles Morales.
That's true.
Oh, they did talk about
They
it just for
talked
like a
about him.
second.
They made like a stupid little joke, which is fine. But I kind of would have liked a scene where like all the Spider-Mans are teaming up together and like they're getting pwned, and then at the last second you see Miles Morales come in,
like
and,
in a hoodie.
or
That'd be
something.
cool.
Yeah, and he's just like,
Miles
"What the
Morales,
heck
I
is
love that
going
guy.
on?" You're like, "We'll explain." I don't know. Maybe
Is that
that's
your
a little-
Miles impression?
Yeah, what the heck is
What's
going on?
here?
What's going on?
You guys and your shenanigans.
Multiple Spider-Man. Okay, I don't know why he's that, but
Oh, did you notice that they did do the Spider-Man pointing meme?
I didn't see it.
It was,
No.
it was subtle.
So
but
Ned called for. He's like, "Hey, Peter," and they're like, "Oh, you talking to me? Him?" And they're like, all
Oh,
they're all
okay.
pointing at each other. It's like, okay, that's cute.
But yeah, I guess it was kind of cool that they mentioned Miles Morales. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But should we talk about the post-credit scene? Are we done with the meat and potatoes of the movie?
I think so.
Okay. So we've got like what do you call it? The mid-credit and then the post-credit, right?
Yeah.
Right. Let's go with the mid-credit first, and that's our Venom scene with Tom Hardy. at
I
the
think
bar.
it's
A
just
big
them
fat ball of nothing.
fixing the timeline, fixing just everything.
But why
just to
was-
So
get,
I want
You
to
already messed it up and brought Venom in. Why would you just like waste the opportunity
So
and send it back?
I want to workshop this as a group. Okay, so we see Venom at a bar, and Eddie Brock. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And they're talking, and he's obviously very confused on where he is and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very apparent that he was brought from his timeline to this timeline.
Yes.
And then not the second snap, but the spell goes through, and he fades away, and a little bit of the symbiote left. I personally loved that. I don't know how you guys feel about it. So, and let me explain. Before they were talking about Lethal Protector, and that's fine. I like Lethal Protector in the comics. I don't think it would have been right for the movies. I think it's a huge cop out if it was just Lethal Protector, because
Yeah.
I want to see Spider-Man versus Venom,
Yes.
right?
That's what
But-
we were talking about in our Venom episode. That like,
Right.
now that he's established himself as a quote unquote hero, where's the conflict?
Right, and I think it's a huge middle finger just to be like, oh, now that Spider-Man's evolved, I'm going to suddenly be Lethal Protector. No. But because we get another little bit of symbiote in Spider-Man's timeline, we can have a bad Venom.
Oh yeah.
So
And-
this one can attach to someone, and we can have Venom versus Spider-Man, and then we can also have Lethal Protector somewhere else.
Not just attached to someone.
oh yeah,
Chase made me cry in the car on the way home.
No, I didn't even think about
You know who
this.
it's going to attach to?
I don't know who.
Flash Thompson.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, because it does. Flash is Venom.
Flash
at
is
one
one of the
point.
Venoms.
Yeah.
So this Flash is the worst thing I have ever seen in
Well,
any Spider-Man movie.
I'm okay with it attaching to Flash because I know that happens. And
but I'm saying
but
this Flash
No, I agree with you.
is terrible.
Yeah, he's cringe, bro.
Oh man. I hate it every time Flash is on screen because I like Flash Thompson in the comics. I think
Right.
he's a cool Venom, but this guy he's like on the decathlon, like the math decathlon team, and like he's like going to MIT. Like,
Yeah, he's kind of cringe.
oh
I have
man.
a question.
Yeah.
So now that no one knows who Peter is, blank slate, right?
Right.
Do you think he will do the whole like get a job with the Daily not Daily Planet.
It's
Daily
the
Bugle. The
Daily
Bugle.
Bugle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was their reset button, and
Yeah.
now we're going to start seeing the Spider-Man that everyone knows.
Yeah.
The one who's lonely and the one who can't tell anyone. and
Delivering
the-
pizza. And
Yeah, you saw him move into that like little squalid apartment,
Yeah.
like
Throwback to
and now
Tobey
we're going to see
Maguire.
the
Well, and he
Spider-Man that should have always been.
And he can't rely on like the Avengers or Happy or any tech
Exactly,
or anything
exactly.
like. Yeah,
Well-
it's a good move.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't forget who's Spider-Man. They
No.
forget.
They forget that Peter Parker
they
is
forget
Spider-Man.
Peter Parker Spider-Man. So I guess they could still reach out, but
Right.
I mean, maybe it's still in those early stages where they're like, they still don't want to reach out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the whole Venom stuff. Anything else about that you guys want to?
Just a big fat waste of potential. I cannot state that enough.
Just remember, I will come find you again because I figured it out once before.
Oh,
That bugged me. Sorry, that just came back up. But anyway,
so the next post-credit scene.
Yes.
It's just a big fat trailer for Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Now, I have a debate with my friend going on, and there's money on this, and
$10,000, right? No, I'm just kidding.
cash. But we were debating a little while ago about whether or not the multiverse would be fixed by the end of Spider-Man movie, and I said, yeah, totally. And he said, no way, because they got a multiverse movie coming out directly after this, so they're not going to fix it. That's going to be like the whatever. And so we put money down on what would happen. Now, I watched Spider-Man today, and I say, yeah, they fixed it. That, like, the multiverse was cracking apart, people were coming through.
you could see people.
Oh, that was another cool thing. You could see all, like,
Yeah.
we saw Scorpion in there, we saw Rhino in there. Sideline. Anyway, but then Doctor Strange casts the spell, fixes the seals, and fixes the breaches in the multiverse.
Yes, I'd agree with that for the most part.
My friend says, like, yeah, that it's still fractured, that things are still crazy, and, like, that's why, like, he's like, did you even watch the trailer? And I'm like, yes, I watched the trailer at the end of the movie after he fixed the multiverse.
Guys, I just had like a little realization, and I don't know if this is doctrine or not. But you guys haven't seen the new Hawkeye.
No.
But can I spoil something to you guys?
Yeah, that's fine.
Spoil it.
They introduced Kingpin.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if these events, the Doctor Strange stuff and the Into the Spider-Verse stuff, are happening at the same exact time?
That would be interesting.
I don't know.
Um,
I mean, probably not because their Peter Parker died. But
Yeah,
I don't know. But like,
that's
what
like
if
a-
this was a different
That is a
multiverse?
different
That
universe.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
I
sorry.
don't know.
I think to answer your question, it's confusing because like I would agree, yes, that he fixed it, but there's still a lot of problems in that now people know multiverse theory exists.
Okay,
And
so
it's going to break again. Does that make sense?
but by the end of Spider-Man, the multiverse was fixed.
yes.
Now,
As a whole, yes. But we at the very end we see Doctor Strange and he's in what I assume is the mirror dimension, and there's that other guy from the first movie, and
Sure.
he ends
Mordo.
up does he end up taking the appearance of Doctor Strange? It kind of looked like he did.
no, Mordo was the guy. He's like super anti-mage now.
Yeah, yeah. It
And-
looked like he like took his appearance for a second.
No,
Maybe I
that
was
he,
just,
he was saying
okay.
like the biggest threat to the multiverse is you, and then like
Yeah, yeah.
cut to the next scene where he meets evil Doctor Strange.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I think the multiverse was fixed, but I think it is susceptible to be broken again, and I think that's going to be a little bit of the next Doctor Strange.
That's
movie.
100% what I said. That like that is the end of this adventure. It's Spider-Man. Multiverse was fixed. He's
That
going
one-
to break it again.
Yeah, yeah. So it's essentially the same. We're all on the same page, kind of. It's just like it breaks. Like I think your friend is thinking, oh, it's going to break, and it's going to be drawn out, still broken, fixed.
By the
I
end
think
of
it's
Doctor Strange.
I think it's going to be broken next movie. It breaks again, and then it's just like we see it. Kind of like my wife was saying, we're going to see a butterfly effect of
Okay.
because it broke once. Things are going to keep happening for sure.
Thoughts, Chase?
I agree.
Agree that it was fixed or that it was broken?
No, that is definitely fixed,
Okay.
but will be broken again because Doctor Strange can't seem to get his hands out of little trivial problems.
Yeah.
But listen, I want to know
Call
what
me
everyone else
Steven.
thinks. I want to get so many people on this. Argue in the comments and tell me if I owe these guys money, because
And feel free to debate with us. I mean, we won't, not angrily, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to time travel and multiverse theory, like, you can dive so deep.
this
So
is
like,
why I don't like the multiverse.
yeah. So get in the comments, tell us what you think. Also, before we end, I just want to say I thought it was cool that they put Daredevil in there for a second. That's kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was a cool
pretty
little cameo. I think I was the only one in the theater that knew who that was. It was kind of funny.
It was
Really?
awesome.
Yeah. So I had
Well, there was that's the Daredevil from the show,
Yeah.
from the Netflix series.
Yeah.
So
Well, so when I went to the theater, I went with my wife and her department from work, and it's mostly older people. And afterwards, some of her coworkers were like, "Oh, like, do you know who that was?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that was Daredevil." And they're like, "Oh, isn't that the guy that cusses a lot?" I'm like, "You're thinking Deadpool." But no, like, and they're like, "Oh, who is that?" And I'm trying to tell them, and they're like, "I don't know who that is." I'm like,
that's okay.
he does martial arts and he's blind, but he can see. And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
His superpower is he can see.
I'm a really good lawyer.
Anyway, sort of a weird way to end it, but do you guys recommend seeing it in theaters? Is it good enough to go to the theater?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
And like,
go see it.
I don't think there is a streaming release on this one.
I don't think so.
Oh
but,
no.
but definitely worth it to go see it in theaters. Like very, very cinematic.
Yeah. Again, super hyped movie. Worth the hype. Had some
I
had
don't,
some minor.
I don't think
minor
it lived up
things.
to its hype, but
Had
it's
some
still
minor
worth seeing.
things. Go see it. With great power comes great podcasts.